Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, your knees feel a little stiff, and you chalk it up to just getting older. You shuffle into the kitchen, make your coffee, spread a little margarine on toast, maybe reheat oil from last night's fried dinner to cook an egg. It feels normal, doesn't it? Just another morning. But what if I told you that those little choices, those bottles and tubs sitting quietly in your kitchen, might be silently fueling the very pain in your knees and putting stress on your heart at the same time? A lot of seniors believe oil is oil, fat is fat. As long as you don't use too much, it's fine. But research from the American Heart Association and the Arthritis Foundation paints a very different picture. The wrong oils can trigger inflammation, clog arteries, and speed up joint damage. In fact, studies show that replacing unhealthy oils with healthier ones can lower your risk of heart disease by as much as 30% and even reduce arthritis flare-ups. So, let me ask you, when was the last time you checked the oil in your kitchen? Is it helping you move with less pain or quietly making things worse? In today's video, we'll uncover the 3 common oils that often hide in our everyday foods. Oils that may look golden and harmless, but inside the body, they act like rust. And more importantly, I'll share simple, delicious swaps you can make, so you can protect your knees, strengthen your heart, and enjoy more active, joyful years ahead. So now that we've opened the door to this hidden problem, let's take the very first step together. Before we talk about specific oils like palm oil, reused frying oil, or margarine, we need to understand one important truth. Not all oils are the same. Some oils act like medicine in the body. They calm inflammation, keep arteries flexible, and even help cushion the joints. Others act like poison, quietly fanning the flames of arthritis and making the heart work harder with every beat. And here's the part that may surprise you. The difference isn't always obvious. The same golden oil that makes your fried chicken crisp may also be the same oil that stiffens your knees the next morning. So let's begin this journey in your own kitchen. What's really hiding in your oils? What happens to your heart and your knees every time you choose one bottle over another? That's where part 1 begins. Let's uncover the hidden enemies in your kitchen oils and why knowing the difference could mean the world for your health after 60. Part 1. What's really hiding in your kitchen oils? It was a crisp Tuesday morning when Henry, a 68-year-old grandfather, walked into his doctor's office. He wasn't there for anything dramatic, just a routine checkup. But as he sat down, the doctor asked him a question he had never been asked before. "Henry, what kind of oil do you usually use when cooking at home?" Henry thought for a moment and said, "Well, I buy whatever's on sale. Sometimes palm oil because it's cheap. If I fry chicken, I might reuse the oil once or twice. And for breakfast, I've been spreading margarine on my toast for years." The doctor gave him a long look and said, "Henry, those choices may be part of the reason you've been feeling more stiffness in your knees and why your cholesterol levels are creeping up." That surprised Henry. Oil is oil, he thought. How could it really matter? But here's the truth. Not all oils are created equal. Some oils can actually protect the heart and reduce inflammation, while others quietly chip away at your health, especially if you're over 60 and already dealing with aching joints or a heart that doesn't beat as strongly as it once did. And why oils matter for seniors. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that diets high in saturated and trans fats are directly linked to higher levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. chemicals like C-reactive protein that fan the flames of arthritis and heart disease. The American Heart Association, in their 2021 guidelines, warned that older adults who replace saturated fats with unsaturated fats, like olive oil, can cut their risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 30%. So the oil you pour into your pan or spread on your toast doesn't just affect taste. It affects how your joints feel when you get out of bed and how your heart performs when you climb a flight of stairs. How oils affect the knees and the heart. When you consume unhealthy oils, two major things happen. One, your arteries stiffen. Saturated fats and trans fats raise LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. Over time, LDL builds plaque in your arteries, narrowing them and making it harder for blood to flow. The heart has to pump harder, raising your risk of heart disease and stroke. 2. Your joints become inflamed. Those same oils trigger the release of inflammatory chemicals, cytokines, that attack joint cartilage. The Arthritis Foundation has highlighted research showing that people with diets high in trans fats are more likely to suffer from severe osteoarthritis symptoms. So every time you reach for the frying pan with reused oil or buy a snack loaded with palm oil, you're not just feeding your appetite. You may be fueling inflammation in your knees and putting stress on your heart. Question for you. When you open your kitchen cabinet, what kind of oils do you see sitting there? Do you mostly use olive oil, canola oil, or do you still have palm oil, margarine, or maybe a bottle of oil that's been used more than once? Have you ever noticed your knees feeling a little more swollen after a heavy fried meal? Or maybe your heart racing just a bit after eating fast food? If you have, you're not imagining it. That's your body responding to the hidden impact of certain oils. And that's why knowing what's really in your kitchen is one of the most powerful steps you can take for your health after 60. I'd love for you to share your answers in the comments. Your story, your small change, could inspire someone else in our community to take a step toward healthier living. Part 2. Palm oil. Why those sweet treats can hurt your knees. Palm oil is everywhere, even if you don't notice it. It hides inside cookies, crackers, pastries, instant noodles, and even your favorite potato chips. The reason is simple. It's cheap, it keeps food from spoiling too quickly, and it makes baked goods look golden and taste rich. But inside your body, palm oil tells a very different story. A hidden ingredient in everyday foods. Think about the last time you picked up a packaged snack. Did you flip the package over? Chances are, if you had, you would have seen palm oil listed in the ingredients. A 2017 analysis published in the World Journal of Cardiology reported that palm oil is one of the largest sources of saturated fat in the modern diet. And what does saturated fat do? It increases LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that clogs arteries. The American Heart Association has found that replacing just 5% of your daily calories from saturated fat with unsaturated fat could lower your risk of heart disease by more than 25%. That's a huge difference from one simple change. How palm oil affects the knees. Now, let's connect this to your knees. When arteries are clogged, circulation suffers. That means your joints get less oxygen and fewer nutrients. Cartilage, the cushion in your knees, relies on good blood flow to stay strong. Without it, joints become weak, inflamed, and more painful. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that high intake of saturated fat is linked with higher levels of interleukin-6, a powerful inflammatory chemical. This chemical not only stresses the heart, but also breaks down cartilage, making arthritis worse. So that innocent-looking cookie or flaky pastry may actually be fueling the fire of inflammation in your knees. The sweet trap here's the tricky part. Foods with palm oil are often the sweet or savory treats we enjoy the most. Cookies, donuts, snack bars. They bring comfort, they're quick, and they taste good. But I want you to ask yourself, how do you feel an hour after eating them? Do your knees feel stiff? Do you feel sluggish? Do you notice your heart beating faster? That's not just in your head. That's your body responding to a rush of saturated fat and sugar together. Two ingredients that drive inflammation and strain the heart. A better way forward. Here's the hopeful news. You don't have to give up treats. You just have to choose better ones. Instead of pastries made with palm oil, you can make simple swaps. Bake at home with olive oil or avocado oil. They bring moisture without the heavy load of saturated fat. Try oatmeal sweetened with honey and topped with fruit. Add a teaspoon of olive oil or flaxseed oil for healthy fats. Choose whole grain crackers made with sunflower oil or canola oil. In fact, a long-term study from Harvard's Nurses' Health Study found that women who replaced saturated fat with unsaturated fats had up to a 40% lower risk of developing heart disease. That's a life-changing difference, all from choosing better oils. A question for you, so let me turn it back to you. The next time you're in the grocery store and you pick up a box of cookies, will you look at the label? And if you see the words palm oil, will you put it back? Or will you still take it home? Have you ever noticed how certain snacks make you feel more achy in your joints afterward? If you've had that experience, you're not alone. Share your story in the comments. Your insight might help another person recognize the link between what they eat and how their knees feel. Part 3. Reused frying oil. When golden turns dangerous. Picture this. You walk into a cozy little diner on a Saturday afternoon. The smell of fried chicken fills the air, golden and crispy, just the way you like it. But if you peeked into the kitchen, you might notice the oil in that fryer is dark, sticky, and has been used again and again. It looks golden on the plate, but inside your body, it tells a very different story. What happens when oil is reused? Every time oil is reheated to high temperatures, its structure begins to break down. Fresh oil contains stable molecules, but when it's heated again and again, especially above 350 degrees Celsius, the molecules become unstable, producing toxic compounds like aldehydes and free radicals. A 2019 study in the Journal of Food Science and Technology found that repeatedly heated oil contained up to 3 times more harmful aldehydes compared to fresh oil. These aldehydes are not just byproducts, they are toxic substances that damage cells, accelerate aging, and increase inflammation. Think of it like rust building up on iron. Each time you reuse oil, you're creating a kind of rust inside your body. The impact on your heart and knees. So, what does that mean for your health? For your heart? Free radicals from reused oil irritate the lining of your blood vessels, making them less flexible. Over time, this damage leads to atherosclerosis, or plaque buildup in your arteries. A study in the Indian Heart Journal in 2018 showed that people who frequently ate foods fried in reused oil had significantly higher blood pressure and cholesterol levels. For your knees, inflammation triggered by these toxic compounds raises levels of chemicals like TNF-alpha and interleukin-1. Both are notorious for breaking down cartilage and worsening osteoarthritis symptoms. The Arthritis Foundation warns that repeated exposure to oxidized fats from frying can intensify swelling and stiffness in the joints. So while that fried chicken may satisfy your taste buds for a moment, it can quietly inflame your knees and strain your heart for days afterward. Real-life reflections. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed feeling more sluggish or achy after eating fried food at a restaurant? Many seniors do. It's not your imagination. It's your body reacting to the toxic byproducts of reused oil. At home, the same danger appears if you pour oil back into a bottle after frying, planning to use it again later. It might feel thrifty, but the cost to your health is far greater. A healthier way to enjoy flavor. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up flavor to protect your health. If you enjoy crispy textures, try baking chicken or vegetables brushed lightly with olive or canola oil. For quick meals, use an air fryer, which requires little to no oil. And if you do fry at home, always use fresh oil and discard it after 1 or 2 uses. A 2020 study in Nutrition Reviews showed that seniors who shifted from fried foods to baked or grilled alternatives reported less joint pain and lower blood pressure within just 3 months. A question for you. So here's what I'd like to ask you. When you cook at home, do you ever reuse frying oil? And when you eat at restaurants, do you think about the oil being used behind the scenes? Would you be willing to experiment with baking, steaming, or grilling instead, and see how your knees and heart feel afterward? If you've ever tried this, share your experience in the comments. Your story might give someone else the courage to make that small but powerful change. Part 4. Margarine, the big butter myth. For decades, margarine was marketed as the healthy alternative to butter. Colorful tubs lined grocery store shelves with words like light, heart smart, and cholesterol-free. Many of us switched, believing we were protecting our hearts. But the truth is far less comforting. The hidden trans fat problem. Margarine is often made using a process called partial hydrogenation, which transforms liquid vegetable oil into a spreadable solid. That process creates trans fats, the most dangerous kind of fat science has ever studied. In 2006, the New England Journal of Medicine published a landmark review showing that trans fats not only raise LDL cholesterol, but also lower HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol that protects your arteries. This double blow makes trans fats uniquely harmful, far worse than butter ever was. The World Health Organization has called for the elimination of trans fats worldwide by 2023, warning that they contribute to more than 500,000 deaths from cardiovascular disease every year. Impact on the heart and knees. On the heart, trans fats stiffen arteries, raise blood pressure, and promote blood clots. A 2015 analysis in the British Medical Journal concluded that just 2% of daily calories from trans fats increase the risk of death from heart disease by 34%. On the knees, trans fats trigger systemic inflammation. The Arthritis Foundation notes that diets high in trans fats worsen joint pain and stiffness, especially in people with osteoarthritis. Inflammatory chemicals such as interleukin-6 and CRP rise sharply after eating foods with trans fats, further eroding cartilage in the knees. Why margarine feels so tricky? It feels unfair, doesn't it? For years, commercials told us margarine was better. Families across America made the switch in good faith. But sometimes, science catches up and reveals the truth. What we once thought was a safe choice turned out to be harmful. Healthier spreads and simple swaps. So, what should you put on your morning toast instead? Avocado spread, creamy, rich in monounsaturated fats, and naturally anti-inflammatory. Olive oil drizzle. Mediterranean countries have used it for centuries, and countless studies link it to heart and joint health. Nut butters. Almond or peanut butter in moderation provide healthy fats and protein. Real butter. Yes, even butter in small amounts is safer than margarine loaded with trans fats. In fact, a 2020 study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that replacing margarine with olive oil reduced inflammatory markers in seniors by 15% in just 12 weeks. A question for you. So let me ask you. When you look in your fridge right now, do you see margarine? If so, are you ready to swap it for something healthier? And if you've already made that switch, have you noticed any difference in how your joints or your energy feel in the morning? Share your answers in the comments. Your small change could inspire someone else to step away from the butter myth once and for all. Part 5. Better oils, better years ahead. By now, we've uncovered the truth about palm oil, reused frying oil, and margarine. They may look harmless in your kitchen or on a store shelf, but inside the body, they fuel inflammation, stiffen arteries, and make aching knees even worse. But here's the hopeful part. Small changes add up to big health improvements. Busting the myth, a little won't hurt. Many people say, well, a little bit won't hurt me. But science tells us otherwise. A 2010 report from the Institute of Medicine stated clearly, there is no safe level of trans fat intake. Even trace amounts increase cardiovascular risk. And when it comes to repeatedly heated oils, a 2019 study in food chemistry showed that just one serving of food fried in heavily reused oil significantly raised oxidative stress markers in the blood. So those little bits are not harmless, they're cumulative. Over months and years, they add up to stiff knees and a strained heart. Read the label, a simple, powerful habit. The easiest step you can take is learning to read labels. Imagine we're walking together through a supermarket aisle. We pick up a box of cookies, flip it over. Do you see palm oil? That's a red flag. We grab a tub of spread. Do you see partially hydrogenated oil? That's a red flag too. And when it says 0 grams trans fat, don't stop there. Read the fine print because companies can round down if it's less than half a gram per serving. Reading labels isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose foods that heal, not harm. A 7-day bone and heart-friendly meal plan. Now let's talk solutions. Here's a simple, practical 7-day plan you can try at home. I'll give you not just the foods, but also easy cooking methods. Day 1. Steamed salmon with olive oil and lemon. Place salmon in a steamer with lemon slices. Drizzle a teaspoon of olive oil before serving. Soft, heart-healthy, and easy on the knees. Day 2. Sautéed greens in canola oil with brown rice. Lightly sauté spinach or kale in a teaspoon of canola oil. Add garlic for flavor. Serve with a side of brown rice for fiber and steady energy. Day 3. Roasted sweet potatoes with sunflower oil. Cut sweet potatoes into wedges. Brush with sunflower oil. Sprinkle a little cinnamon and bake at 375 degrees until tender. Great for joints, rich in antioxidants. Day 4. Fresh salad with flaxseed oil and walnuts. Toss mixed greens, cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers. Add a tablespoon of flaxseed oil as dressing and top with walnuts. Omega-3s for heart and joints. Day 5. Whole grain toast with avocado spread. Mash half an avocado with a pinch of salt. Spread on whole grain toast. Simple, creamy, and protective against inflammation. Day 6. Grilled chicken with olive oil and herbs. Marinate chicken breast with olive oil, garlic, and rosemary. Grill until golden, low fat, high protein, and joint friendly. Day 7. Vegetable soup without frying. Simmer carrots, celery, and beans in broth. Add a drizzle of canola oil before serving. Comforting, nourishing, no frying needed. Each of these meals avoids harmful oils while boosting nutrients that protect your heart and joints. Returning to the story. Let's go back to Henry, the man we met in part 1. He listened to his doctor and made these swaps. He replaced palm oil with olive oil, stopped reusing frying oil, and traded margarine for avocado spread. At first, it felt strange. But within 3 months, Henry noticed real changes. His knees felt less stiff in the morning. His heart rate was steadier. He had the energy to walk longer with his grandchildren. Henry's story is proof that it's never too late to make a change. A question for you. So here's my question for you. When you think about your own kitchen, which oil will you swap first? Will it be saying goodbye to margarine, throwing out reused frying oil, or putting back that box of cookies made with palm oil? Share your decision in the comments. Your choice today could inspire another person to begin their journey toward healthier years. Small choices, big changes. We've walked a long path together today. From palm oil hiding in cookies and crackers, to the reused frying oil that turns golden food into silent poison, to margarine, the so-called healthy spread that carried one of the biggest myths in modern nutrition. At first, they seem harmless. They sit quietly in our kitchens. They make food crispy, creamy, or sweet. But once they enter the body, the story changes. They stiffen arteries, they fan the flames of inflammation, and they make every step on sore knees just a little harder. A lesson from science and from life. Science has made it clear, replacing unhealthy oils with healthy ones makes a powerful difference. The American Heart Association tells us that even small swaps, just a few tablespoons a day, can cut heart disease risk dramatically. The Arthritis Foundation warns us that trans fats and reheated oils can accelerate joint damage, while unsaturated fats actually calm inflammation. But this isn't just about numbers and studies. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It's about whether you can walk with your grandchild to the park. It's about whether you still have the energy to do the things that bring you joy. Small choices add up. You don't have to change everything overnight. Maybe you start by tossing out that tub of margarine and replacing it with an avocado. Maybe you decide not to reuse the oil after frying chicken. Maybe you pick up a bottle of olive oil the next time you're at the store, instead of reaching for the cheapest option. These choices may feel small in the moment, but over weeks, months, and years, they build a foundation for stronger joints, steadier hearts, and a more active, joyful life. Remember, your kitchen is your front line. Every bottle of oil is either a friend or a foe, and you hold the power to choose which ones stay by your side. A gentle call to you now. I want to turn the question back to you. When you look into your pantry today, what do you see? Is there palm oil in your snacks? A bottle of reused frying oil next to the stove? Margarine waiting in the fridge? And more importantly, what will you do about it? Are you ready to make one small change this week? Maybe 2 next week. Imagine how your knees might feel in 3 months. Imagine your heart pumping more freely, your steps becoming lighter, your energy lifting. That's not just a dream. That's the science of nutrition meeting the power of choice. A community of shared wisdom. I invite you to share your story in the comments. Have you ever noticed your joints aching more after fried food? Have you already swapped to olive oil or avocado oil and felt the difference? Your voice could inspire someone else who's watching this right now, someone who's on the edge of change but needs a little encouragement. Together, we're not just individuals making changes. We are a community of wisdom, of courage, of seniors who believe that life can be better with age. A warm thank you. So thank you truly for joining me here today on Elderly Wisdom Chronicles. If this video gave you something to think about, I invite you to subscribe and become part of our family. Every week, we'll explore simple but powerful ways to protect your health, ease your pain, and bring more joy into your golden years. Because in the end, it's not about adding years to life. It's about adding life to our years. And every choice you make in your kitchen, from the oils you cook with to the meals you share, can bring you one step closer to the life you deserve.